Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Sunday's usually a day where I don't expect much to happen. Usually I actually treat myself to my day off on a Sunday, but today, there's no time for days off. There is a lot to talk about in a very big edition of Celtic Transfer Talk. We've got news on the potential departure of Georgios Giakoumakis and also the replacement for Georgios Giakoumakis. So let's get into it. Hello, welcome back. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated as we head into a new year on the channel, of course. Let's just jump right into things because there's a massive amount of news to talk about today in regards to Celtic and their transfer business. We've been waiting patiently to hear what's happening with Georgios Giakoumakis, whether or not he will stay at Celtic. And with some news that was broke today, it looks as though we are about to see the departure of Georgios Giakoumakis. As always, massive warning. Take it all with a pinch of salt. A big, massive pinch of sacks of salt. I'm going to give you all the details. I'm going to give my opinion to it all. But let's just jump right into things because there's some reports from Japan. Yes, Japan of all places, suggesting that Giakoumakis could be heading there very soon. How ironic is it, really, after everything that has been connecting Celtic and Japan over the past couple of years, that one of our best players, one of our most favoured players amongst the Celtic support could be actually heading to Japan. Usually we're signing players from Japan. No, this time we're selling to Japan by the looks of it. An article was broke this morning in the Japanese media to suggest that Georgios Giakoumakis could be heading over there, which is a massive surprise, a massive shock to me. And I can already tell that the majority of comments on this video, just like the majority of replies to tweets about it, will be people being baffled and finding it bizarre that he's heading to Japan rather than maybe England or mainland Europe. And yeah, I still do find that a bit bizarre. It was the same when the links came out about, Saudi Arabia and Denmark as well. I thought to myself, I thought he'd get a bigger move than that. I thought he'd get a move, to the kind of well-known club somewhere in Europe. But, I've got to the point now where I've accepted that Giakoumakis is 28 years of age. He's just had a child. He's probably at that point where he wants that one last payday. And if he's heading to Japan, he must be getting a kind of bigger wage. That's got to be the main drawing point for him here, because he could stay at Celtic. He could be that kind of, I don't like using the phrase second choice, but he almost is second choice to Kyogo, isn't he? But he could stay here, he could be that option beside Kyogo, and he could get a nice wage, play European football, and see out the rest of his kind of, best days here. But at the age of 28, this is now his last chance to go somewhere and get a wage that's better than what Celtic are putting on the table. And if Celtic aren't willing to match an offer from elsewhere, I don't blame him at all. He's got a family to look out for. He obviously wants to play first team football week in, week out and get 90 minutes under his belt. That's something that he's not being offered at Celtic at the moment. So I don't blame him. If this is the move he wants to make, then I wish him the absolute best. I'll be really sad to see him go. And I've said that from the beginning. I can accept that he's going and it's probably the time to strike on him going. But I'll be really sad to see him go. He's been, if you've been watching the channel throughout the entirety of the Ange Postecoglou era, he's probably been my favourite outfield player over that accumulated time. So I will be gutted to see him go. But yeah, let's have a look at what the report says. So it was reported by a couple of outlets over in Japan, but this one from Hochi News said this, and it's a rough translation, by the way. I'm not fluent in Japanese. Google tries to be fluent in every language. It roughly gets there, so pardon me if anything is wrong. But they said it was revealed on the 7th that Urawa are moving to acquire Greek representative forward Georgios Giakoumakis from Scottish First Division side Celtic. An offer has already been made and the negotiations are nearing towards the end. So the side interested in Giakoumakis and apparently in negotiations with Giakoumakis is Urawa Red Diamonds, who are set to complete the signing of him according to what I just said. Their negotiations close to coming to an end. And a move that I never really did expect. But there you go. And obviously Japan, Celtic have a nice sort of affiliation at this point. We continue that with now giving over a Celtic player to Japan. But yeah, I'll be absolutely gutted to see him go. Negotiations close to a close. I wonder, there's nothing reported on the fee, so we can only speculate. I'm hoping that Celtic are seeing the likes of £6-7 million. It's surely going to be about £6 or £7 million because we heard that Midtjylland, for example, were told 7 million and it priced them out. You know, Michelin were like, no, well, we can't afford that. Didn't happen. So if that was the asking price then surely that's the asking price now. So I imagine that the fee will be around that region, £6-7 million. God knows how much a week that he'll be getting, and how much of an upgrade that is from his current contract at Celtic. But it's obviously enough to lure him over there. So there you go. That's that. Georgios Giakoumakis looks to be away. Don't know how long it'll take. Don't know if it'll fall through. Don't even know if it's true, really. But it looks like the wheels are in motion. So with that then, means that we need to replace Georgios Giakoumakis, and Sky Sports reporting this morning that Celtic are wasting very little time with looking for that replacement. Apparently, we have made a £3 million bid for South Korean international Gue-Sung Cho. Now, some of you might remember him as Cho Gue-Sung. Whoever is educating me in the comments, please feel free to do so. I love being educated on these things. But I remember the same situation with Park Ji-sung. It was actually Ji-sung Park. I'm not sure how it all works when it comes to the South Korean ordering of the names. But I'll stick with just Cho for now. It's easier than saying the full name every single time. But apparently, Cho could be very close to becoming a Celtic player after some transfer negotiations over the past couple of days. And, you know, I think it's going to be hard to replace Giakoumakis. I don't quite know if I'll be able to replace him in my heart, but we're certainly making the right strides by going for Cho. Celtic have apparently made good talks with Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors of the Korean First Division. Of course, we spoke about him quite a bit a couple of weeks ago, so I don't really need to rehash everything about the player himself. Because we all know the attributes he brings. We all know about his World Cup appearances. The last 16 with the South Korean national side, had a very good outing at the tournament. In fact, that good an outing that he managed to get himself 3 million followers on Instagram. If we do sign him, we'll make back the £3 million on shirt sales alone, it seems. But yeah, £3 million bid. Celtic now the favourites to actually sign him after talks with Bundesliga side Mainz collapsed. Apparently not willing to pay the fee of £3 million. Kind of stunned about that. I mean, I know that Bundesliga, obviously I'm a Bundesliga fan myself, but I know they don't like to spend relatively big on players, but I thought for the World Cup outing that he had, that Mainz might have went quite a way to try and sign Cho if they were really interested. Ferencváros were also in for the player, but Celtic are apparently now the side who are leading talks to sign him. The £3 million bid has been submitted. There has been nothing said if it's been accepted, but apparently it is the asking price. You would imagine that means he will be joining Celtic, so we'll just have to wait and see. I'm very excited about this one. After watching him at the World Cup, he's someone that, you know, straight away, a lot of Celtic fans were saying, I'd love to see him here. And then it came out a day or two later after that game against Portugal that he was linked with Celtic, and that really sparked some excitement. We're bringing in £6 or £7 million for Giakoumakis, for £3 million of that to go to his replacement, and a good replacement it seems on paper. Very happy with that. I think that's good business. It's not easy to replace, you know, a guy with 25 goals in a year and a half at Celtic. That's a great return that Giakoumakis gave us. Hard to replace. We've got a great striker in Kyogo, we know that, but we needed that backup option. We need someone else. This is probably the best known option out there. You know, there's plenty of unknown options that the club could go around, but in terms of known options, I can't think of many better. I did like the thought of Kasper Tengstedt that we spoke about last week from Rosenborg, but this one I think is the easy go-to option, and we've done really well in the Asian market so far. It kind of adds on to that, but I'm hoping that the bid's accepted. I'm hoping we hear more about it over the next couple of weeks, because as soon as Giakoumakis leaves, we need to get right onto it. We need to bring someone through the door. It's not going to be easy for Cho to come in straight away. We know that he's coming from the other side of the world. He's not trained with the side. Their season works a little bit differently over there as well. It's not going to be a case of just walking right into the team and delivering the goals that we need. But the sooner it's done, the better. And I'm hoping that we can be patient with it and get it done. Yeah, there you go. That's basically all the news. I don't really need to talk too much else about Cho, because if you want to find out more, go back to the video we spoke about him a week or two ago. Right, okay, that's me. Finito. Done. Thank you all for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Another busy week it seems for Celtic. Of course, we have got that massive semi-final at Hampden next week, so we'll be building up to that this week on the channel, of the podcast and all the rest of it. So make sure to check it all out. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.